Conclusion inevitable.
It was a jump to conclusions, Matt.
My conclusion was that this idea was not a practical deterrent.
My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
In conclusion.
Hello there, folks. Welcome back to In Conclusion, the only movie podcast just about Pearl Jam. I'm Dan O'Keefe, and joining me as always is Anna Otto. Anna, how are you?
You know, one of my coworkers loves Pearl Jam.
That's not surprising. I feel like a lot of people love Pearl Jam.
Yeah, I didn't really know a bunch of Pearl Jam, but then one day I don't even know how it was recent. I went on, sometimes, okay, let me start over. Sometimes I go on rabbit holes where I look up what lyrics mean to songs and, what the purpose was behind a song, because it's really fun for me. And then I listen to, depressing songs.
To Jeremy?
Yeah. Had a great time.
You didn't even ask how this being Pearl Jam is related to the movie that we're talking about.
Sorry, it's because I was just so distracted by that time I, vibed to Pearl Jam. How is Pearl Jam connected to this movie? Because I'm curious.
Let me tell you, Anna, it's because it's all about even flow.
I wish you could see my face right now. I really do, because it is a face of utter disappointment.
I was cooking that up for a little bit beforehand.
Yeah, considering you asked me to ask you.
Well, yeah, if you're not going to set me up, I'll set myself up. I don't compliment myself very much.
That's a lie.
Well, when I'm alone, I'm very hard on myself.
Oh, me
and
too.
So I'm like, okay, well, if whenever I do something well, I guess I'll compliment myself when I notice it. So during volleyball, I'll pass the ball really well, and I'll go oh, what a pass. And everybody's like, what a dick.
No, Dan,
it's just
I do
for
the
me.
Same thing. Don't
it's
worry.
It's for me.
I do the same thing. I feel that deep in my soul. It's okay. You're allowed to do that.
Good. Thank you for your permission.
You're welcome. I will absolutely continue to give you permission to do things that bring you joy.
I'm not sure it brings me joy, though.
Oh, okay.
It might bring me more pain than joy.
Dan, I love how similar we are, that we are both soft individuals who have to be nicer to ourselves vocally because we're so mean to ourselves in our head.
Oh, 100%.
Because I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, brother. Brother. I can't do the voice, but I tried. I hope
and you know what? I'm proud of you for trying.
Oh my God. Dear
Be
diary,
proud of yourself.
Dan's
Be proud of yourself.
Thank
Be
you,
nice
Dan.
to yourself.
Amen. You tell him.
Them. The movie that we're talking about today is all about Eve. Not all about even flow.
I got so confused multiple times because I kept trying to look up There's Something About Eve, which is not a movie.
Not a movie. There's Something About Mary is a movie.
Yes, and I was so confused.
And that's a Farley Brothers movie. Very different.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I was doing my initial Google, I was very confused, so,
I have a question before we get into it. Did you pay to watch this movie?
Yes.
Ah, you fool. You've been tricked, hoodwinked, even.
I know.
The Internet Archive has a copy of it.
What the
Just
fuck,
totally
Dan?
available to stream.
I need you to tell me about that stuff.
You watched it. You texted me you were watching it before I even found this out.
Oh, okay. Then I forgive you.
Yeah.
I forgive you.
Thank you. Thank you for your forgiveness. Anyway,
You're welcome.
All About Eve, written and directed by Joseph L. Mankiewicz, based on the short story The Wisdom of Eve.
Oh.
By Mary Orr.
Like
produced,
the Eve? Like the Eve of Apple?
Of Apple fame? Of Bible fame?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
No. I think inspired by that, I think the Eve is supposed to be Eve of All About fame.
Okay.
Produced by Daryl F. Zanuck. Normally I don't mention producers, but he is one of the most prominent of early Hollywood, and he had a sick-ass mustache,
Nice. Good for him.
right? He was also the head of 20th Century Fox when it was founded.
Oh, okay. So he was the old big wig, as it were.
Yes. Big Stash, I think they called him.
Hey, big stash.
I'm looking at his headstone right now. Mm-hmm. A lot of words. A lot of words on it. Maybe too many.
Dan, have you seen those headstones where they like have a recipe on them?
That's a little weird.
Oh. I was gonna ask if you thought that was iconic or not.
Nah, not a fan.
Not a fan? Bummer.
Not a fan.
Bummer.
Starring. Well, like, I don't want people hanging out in a graveyard. Like, that's nice and all, but, like, it'd be weird to go, well, I gotta get a new recipe. Gotta go check out the bodies.
What's a good recipe for a new flavor of fluff? Let me go check out somebody's gravestone.
Flavor of fluff?
Yeah, like a different fluff flavor.
What, as opposed to marshmallow?
No, fluff as a dessert.
What?
You don't know what...
What is fluff?
It's made with, like, Jell-O and marshmallow and
Oh, it's so
fruit.
Midwest.
My
Gross.
mom made some on the 4th of July. I'm kind of shook right now that you don't
Gross.
know what fluff is.
Jell-O should be served on its own. Nothing inside of it.
I mean, I'll let you know right now, I didn't eat any of it, nor did I enjoy that it was on the plate looking at me. Or on the table, I mean. But, like, Gage got me a brownie from inside and it had some fluff on it, so I did try it.
So you had a fluff-adjacent food.
Against my will, yes.
Yes.
Some might
Glad
say
we got
it
that
was
squared away.
torture.
And you want to find a new recipe for it?
Well, it's not all about me, Dan. It's not all about Anna. It's all about Eve.
Oh,
So.
okay. It's all about Grave, actually. Starring Bette Davis, Ann Baxter, George Sanders, Celeste Holm, Gary Merrill, Hugh Marlowe, and Thelma Ritter. Music by Alfred Newman. You may recognize that last name.
I do. Why?
You may also recognize his nephew, Randy,
I knew that's what you were going to say.
or Randy Newman's son, Eric, who is the producer and showrunner of Narcos.
Is that a good show? I know Pedro Pascal's in it.
I've never seen it.
Oh. Well, like I said, Pedro's in it, so the girlies are simping,
Yes, of course. Released by 20th Century Fox on October 13th, 1950. With a budget of $1.4 million, it made $8.4 million at the box office. A smashing success.
Wow. Good for them.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 99% approval rating. Smart, sophisticated, and devastatingly funny. All About Eve is a Hollywood classic that only improves with age.
I did not think that, but okay.
Oh, I was going to say only improves with age, unlike Bette Davis's character, based on her personal viewing. Okay. Before I ask you about your opinion, it was nominated for 14 Oscars.
I know I'm in the wrong, okay?
It won Best Sound Recording, Best Costume Design for Black and White, Best Screenplay, Best Supporting Actor, Best Director, and Best Picture. Ann Baxter and Bette Davis canceled each other out in Best Actress. Celeste Holm and Thelma Ritter canceled each other out in Best Supporting Actress. It lost Best Set Direction and Best Cinematography and Film Editing and Score.
That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff.
That's 14 nominations.
God damn.
God damn. Okay. Anna,
Dan.
tell me your thoughts.
I thought it was slow. This was no Sunset Boulevard, okay?
You're correct, it's not.
I thought it was going to be a little bit more approachable. I liked Sunset Boulevard a lot. This was just, it was so slow for me.
That's it? Just too slow?
Yeah.
I agree. It is a slow... I feel like it's a slow build. But it does build.
It didn't build enough. I needed to be freaking flying, okay? I need to be running.
You needed it to be, like, She shows up, boom, immediately. She's entranced.
Yep. Immediately, Marco's out of a job. Immediately.
Okay.
Throw her out the door.
Also, I will say in 1998, the American Film Institute released a list of the top 100 American movies of all time. Mm-hmm. All About Eve was ranked 16th on the list. Sunset Boulevard was rated 12th.
Okay, period. There's a reason why one's a musical. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I would want to see All About Eve, the musical.
It's all about Eve.
There is actually, it was the inspiration for the musical Applesauce. Have you ever heard of that?
Respectfully, what the fuck?
Written by Charles Strauss and Lee Adams.
I have literally
They also wrote Bye Bye Birdie and Annie.
I know that. I know both of those musicals. The second one, Against My Will. The first one, a song from Bye Bye Birdie, came on in the car the other day, and I went, oh my god, who queued this up? Gage is like, why are you acting like you don't love Bye Bye Birdie?
How did this come on? What?
Who queued this up? Bye Bye Birdie.
I've never seen Bye Bye Birdie.
What the
I have no idea what it's about.
Pause. Can we do a one-off episode next week, please?
Bye Bye Birdie? Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, thank Jesus. I love Bye Bye Birdie so much. I cannot wait to watch it. Gage is going to be so annoyed. Oh my god, Anna, what are you doing? My whole life, I said I was going to do a wedding announcement with all my friends, the people I was going to send this out to telephone hour. And I've been sitting on my ass. Sorry, I just remembered something. It'll all make sense next week.
What did you remember? I don't know.
So there's a song at the beginning of Bye Bye Birdie where it's the opening number. It's called Telephone Hour. It's horrible. And it's only horrible because it's very screechy.
Okay.
But at the beginning it's like, did you hear about Hugo and Kim? Did they really get pinned? Did he pin the pin on, or was he too shy? Did he pin? Yeah. Going steady, steady for good. It's a good song. Okay, you're gonna love Bye Bye Birdie. I guarantee it.
I was gonna guess that the opening song of Bye Bye Birdie started with "Hello, my name is Bye Bye Birdie."
Yes.
And I would like to share with you the most amazing bird.
You know it's about Elvis, right?
No, I know nothing about this. I know the name, and I know that the dude's name is Conrad.
Yeah, Conrad Birdie. He's supposed to be Elvis Presley. I will not tell you anything else. I want you to be surprised, flabbergasted, obsessed.
I hope he does pills.
He does not do pills, okay?
Well, then I don't care.
Dan, you're going to have to care.
Speaking of caring, All About Eve. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great. Of course I did.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I?
That's true. If I didn't like it, you will always like it. That's the rule.
Come on. Okay, that's not true. Neither of us liked Black Hawk Down.
That's true. That is, in fact, very true.
The only thing that combines us is our dislike of that specific war movie.
Sorry, everyone.
I think that the stories of conniving are wonderful.
Dan, I feel like you're an old-timey villain.
I love conniving. I love playing tricks. Little trickster.
Oh, my God.
Well, the thought that just came into my head for a conniving comparison is The Social Network.
Your favorite.
Yes. But Eve and Sean Parker, Justin Timberlake, they're the same type of character. They're someone who wants, and they're going to do everything they can in their power to get it. I mean, also Mark Zuckerberg in the movie is the same thing, just he's not going after a specific person.
Do you mean Jesse Eisenberg?
Well, the character of Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
The dramaturgically it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this is just like Sunset Boulevard. This is so well written. it's basically a play, which makes sense because it's set in the world of Broadway. But this would work as a play very easily because there's not a lot of action scenes. And the one time they go outside, they don't actually go outside. They do rear projection and have the actors walk in place, which is hilarious. Did you notice that?
No.
When they were walking, when Eve and Addison were walking outside of the theater, they were walking in place, and it was a rear projection of a recording of the outside of the theater.
Fucking classic.
It's great.
I love that.
At that time, it was probably cheaper to do that.
It's probably state of the art. They're like, wow, it looks so real.
How are they doing it? It's like they're outdoors.
Oh.
Also, I forgot to mention one other actor who's in this movie who is probably the most recognizable actor. Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was her at first. And Gage was like, oh, I paused the movie to get up to go to the bathroom. And I saw Marilyn Monroe's name, and I was like, what? And Gage was
Where's
like, yeah,
she?
you didn't. I literally said, I was like, I haven't seen her before. And Gage was like, Anna, she's that one. And he pointed her out to me. I was like, are you sure? And I think it's because, to me, in my head, Marilyn Monroe has, like, those bedroom eyes, those, like, almondy, like, and she, you know, that's just when she's posing. That's not how it is in real life.
Yeah, and this was before she had the whole persona.
Yeah.
This was also a 24-year-old Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, my God, she's a baby.
Right?
Oh, my God.
So young, so full of hope.
Oh, hello, 24-year-olds. Remember that you are young. And I, a grandmama.
At the ripe old age of 28. 27, 26, 25. I don't know. Time goes backwards at one point.
Truly. Time
Whoa,
is
that
going
accent
backwards.
changed.
I don't know what accent I'm using, okay?
Truly.
Truly.
Truly. I
somebody-
preach. Crackle window.
This flower is wilting.
Let's talk about the movie.
Okay.
So, it starts off, and we are at the awards presentation for the Sarah Siddons Awards, which, at the time, did not exist. They exist now, and they are run from a Chicago theater organization.
Wait, so now it's real?
Yes, it was inspired by the movie.
Wow. Amazing.
This was the first Tony Awards were 3 years before this movie came out. So, they were not as big or as important as they have become now. There were a lot more regional theater awards, and this was supposed to be it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, then get narration. We are introduced to all the main characters, and then we go to a flashback, and it's Broadway star Margot Channing, played by Bette Davis,
iconic, right off the
with
bat.
those eyes. Acerbic wit, some would say.
What does that mean?
An acerbic wit?
I've never heard that before.
Well, I've never said it before. It's used to describe something that is spoken or written in a way that is direct, witty, and cruel.
Ooh. So it means bitchy, but in a nicer way.
Yeah, basically.
I love it.
We can
Acerbic wit. I'll be using that.
Yeah, you just, whenever you're asked to describe yourself, I have an acerbic wit.
Yes, I do.
And then when somebody goes, what does that mean? Just go, you wouldn't know.
How acerbic of you.
The way we're saying it makes it sound like it's a nationality.
I know. It's because it sounds kind of dangerously close to Serbian. Yes.
I have a Serbian wit. What?
What does that mean? Like, there's a lot of your wit relies on the state of Wisconsin. I don't know. We have Serb Hall here. They have really good fish fry. They stopped serving it for a year, and I was depressed.
They stopped serving it for a year?
Yes, they did stop serving it for a year, but it's back now, and it's so good. Shout out to the Serbians at Serb Hall for killing it over the fish fry fryers.
You're listening to In Conclusion, sponsored by Serb Hall. Visit
wish.
Milwaukee's best fish fry, according to Anna.
Literally, yes, Dan. We almost bought a house across the street from there, and no, it was actually like a cute house. But then we lost out because the market's bad. In case you were curious.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't, but that's very interesting.
It's not great for buyers right now. Sellers having the time of their lives.
You know what else isn't great for buyers? The town of Hawkins, Indiana.
I've never watched Stranger Things.
Okay, that joke. That would just land hard.
I will take your word for it. Is that one of the boys' last names?
Yeah, that's
Winona's?
Yes,
okay.
Winona's.
What's her name?
Exactly, Winona.
It's not Winona?
It's Winona.
I'm
what?
really learning a lot right now.
Oh my gosh,
Anyway.
You actually thought her name was pronounced Winona?
Yeah, Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder.
We're saying the same thing.
No.
Okay, well, come to Sir Paul and we'll discuss this.
So, Margot is performing in a play, and she is being stalked by Eve Harrington, who has come to every performance, and she waits outside of every show to get a handshake, get an autograph, kiss her on the lips, give her an old ass slap.
Slip
I don't
her
know.
the tongue.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
Eve kind of doing too much.
She's a lot. She's playing every card she's got. But they're all held close to the chest.
They are.
But Margot's friend Karen, who is the wife of the author of the play, Lloyd, brings Eve backstage to meet Margot. First mistake.
Yes.
She tells her that she's been following Margot around all across. She saw her perform in San Francisco. She's been coming to every show for the last 3 months in New York City. She grew up poor in Milwaukee.
I was screaming. You never responded to that text, BTW.
You're right, I didn't.
Thanks,
I didn't
Sam.
know what to say. I had nothing to add.
I was flabbergasted. I was like, is this me?
She grew up in Milwaukee. She married her husband, but he died in the war, the second one.
Wasn't it? Oh, I remember why. Because he died in South Pacific, and I started singing, "Gonna wash that man right out of my hair," and Gage was done with me at that point.
Hello, my name is the South Pacific.
Yes.
And I would like to tell you of a theater in World War II.
Ooh, I'm interested.
It has so many awesome bombs, specifically
I'm out.
two.
I'm out.
You should watch Oppenheimer. After that, she was working at a brewery as a secretary, and then she moved to New York. She just had money saved up.
I was screaming over the amount of times that she said brewery.
Brewery. I was working at a fate worse than death. Working at a
literally.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin brewery.
Freaking kill me if I ever... God damn, I was like, she's just insulting person after person.
Margot hears this, and for some reason she is moved by Eve. So, she hires her as her assistant.
Yeah.
You know who did not want her to be her assistant? Her actual
Birdie.
assistant, Birdie.
I loved Birdie. She was a baddie.
Yeah.
She was such a bitch. I loved her.
But also she was right.
Yeah. She had an acerbic wit, too.
Oh, look at that.
Mm-hmm. Look at me.
What's it called when you have a mean yet witty breast?
Excuse me?
An acerbic tit.
I'm rolling my eyes so hard right now. I am sick
You don't know how much I was holding myself back from laughing at my own joke.
I knew you were laughing at your own joke. You didn't even have to hold yourself back. God damn.
Well, why would I say a joke if I don't think it's funny?
That's
Why
true.
would I not laugh at it?
That's true. Sometimes, I'll let you in on a little secret. Sometimes when I say something that I know is funny and people laugh, I go, what? Like, I don't know what they're laughing at because I want them to tell me that I was being funny.
Oh my, horrible.
I should have not confessed that, but it's true.
Horrible.
It's true.
I have also found a little bit of a psychological thing. If you make a joke and then just start laughing afterwards, people feel compelled to also laugh.
That's amazing. I should do that.
How to win friends and influence people.
Wow, Dan. Write that down. Write that down.
So Eve, through her ways, manipulates her way into Margot's life. Not just as a secretary, as an adoring fan. She places a call to Margot's boyfriend, Bill, when Margot forgets his birthday.
That's doing... I mean, like, she's doing a good thing, but... I mean...
Oh, but I already called him.
You
what? You bitch?
Immediately the ick.
She also starts doing Birdie's job, basically, and planning stuff around her. And then she also, basically, whenever she has free time, she's just picturing herself as Margot in the roles that she is playing.
Could any of us not have predicted that would happen?
No, that seems... Well, the characters couldn't.
Well, that's true. But what
in
about
the story,
us?
but we could.
The normies.
Yes. The omnipotent watchers.
Or the normies.
I think omniscient was the word I was looking for, not omnipotent. We don't have the power to change the story.
We could travel back in time.
Margot catches Eve taking a bow to the empty theater while holding Margot's costume. So she asks the producer Max Fabian, which is both
That's
a great name
quite the
and
name.
also a Disney Channel character name.
I'm Max.
Max Fabian. And yeah, I can do a kickflip.
Yeah, my life is pretty weird.
You should meet my sister. She's a bitch.
Ooh, she has an acerbic wit.
You should meet my mom. She has an acerbic tit.
Oh, this is my dad. He's just a fucking dumb idiot.
He's the stupidest man I've ever met. I don't understand how he has a job or lives. When he tries to eat, he slaps himself with a spoon.
Oh, Dad. Oh my fucking God. I can't even right now.
Instead of Max hiring her as a secretary at his office, Eve becomes Margot's understudy. But no one tells Margot.
Gas.
But then friendships start to frazzle, because as Margot gets more upset, Karen, the friend who
Horrible name.
brought
Just
Eve
kidding.
in, she starts to sympathize with Eve. She's like, oh, everybody hates you. You just want to be loved. You just want to be accepted as part of the community.
Not the community.
It is what it is. Karen starts to come up with a plan to get Margot to miss a performance of
Truly
the show,
devious.
so Eve can perform. She's just got a spell that she casts people's under.
So let's hold on a second. How come anytime
Yes.
I wasn't cast as the lead or I was an understudy and I asked people to help me ruin the lead's life, nobody did?
How were you asking them?
I said, please.
Eve doesn't say please.
You're right.
You realize what she was like? She was like, I need to be on that stage. I must.
I go, hey guys, wouldn't it be chill if I took over? I understand that the lead is like a soprano and like not me, but like, what if it was, girl? Imagine. Wouldn't that be crazy pants? Anyway.
just picture me.
Oh God.
Picture me in the role and picture them, whoever's in the actual lead, picture them not.
Picture them asleep because they're sleeping and couldn't make it today.
So at the party that they have for Bill's birthday, Margot gets drunk after saying, buckle in, it's going to be a bumpy night.
Fucking too much.
Great line. Also frequently misquoted. People
Wait.
say bumpy ride instead of bumpy night.
Oh my God. I didn't know that was a quote. I'm
Yeah.
shooketh.
At the party, Margot basically she gets a little too acerbic.
Ruh-roh.
And also she fucking hates Marilyn Monroe.
Poor Marilyn. It started right away, huh?
I think that Marilyn Monroe is good in this scene.
I thought Marilyn
I think
was
she's
good, too.
so funny.
I think Marilyn is a great comedic actor, but I think people, just sexualized her and decided to ignore the fact that she was actually talented.
Not only is the view women can't be funny, hot women especially can't be funny.
You're right. That's why nobody laughs at my jokes. Thank you.
That was good.
Dan, wait, why are you laughing?
It should say something.
Dear diary. My life sucks.
So, Eve invites the city's theater critics to come to the performance, including
That's fucking bold.
Addison DeWitt, who some might say has an acerbic DeWitt.
There's a lot of men with women's names in this movie.
I like the name Addison DeWitt.
I don't dislike it. It's just confusing because, in 2023, I was getting confused because I'm already bad with names.
Uh-huh.
So when they say Mr. DeWitt, I was fine. But when they said Addison, I was like, a girl, right?
I'm looking at the rest of the characters' names. Stop me when a character has a non-typical gendered name.
Okay, maybe it's just Addison.
Margot Channing, Eve Harrington, Karen Richards, Bill Sampson, Lloyd Richards, Bertie Coonan, Max Fabian, Claudia Caswell, Addison DeWitt.
Pause. There it is.
So at a staged reading, a rehearsal, some might say, Eve upstages Margot. And Addison is like, ooh.
Who is that? I know he's not Southern, but it felt right.
And Eve attempts to seduce Bill, Margot's boyfriend, and he's like, nope. Not going to happen.
Crazy.
Bill and Bertie are the only sane characters in the whole thing. We're the only people who can see through Eve.
That's one way of putting it.
I can't wait for the sequel.
Seeing through Eve.
All about Bill and Bertie.
Yep.
Addison is then interested in Eve, interviews her, and then harshly criticizes Margot in his column for resisting younger talent. She's 40. Margot was 40.
That part made me really sad. Not gonna lie. I was like, oh no.
We did this last episode. Here are a couple of actresses who are 40 and older.
I can't do this again. Go on.
Reese Witherspoon, 47. Jessica Alba, 42. Kate Winslet, 47. Anne Hathaway, 40. Come on, Anne Hathaway. You're past it.
Past your prime,
Clear
Annie.
the way.
She likes to go by Annie, for the record.
Oh, I did see that interview.
That's why I, respectfully called her Annie. It was not trying to be a dig.
Natalie Portman and Kristen Bell, 42.
Like, everyone I know has a fat crush on Natalie Portman.
Yeah, they should.
It's Gage. He has a crush on Natalie Portman.
Jessica,
he has since he was little.
Well, yeah, I have too, obviously.
Because of Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Natalie's rap from SNL. Jessica Chastain, 46.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Speaking of gorgeous, Rachel McAdams, 44.
True.
I think Rachel McAdams might be the most beautiful person in the world. But anyway, 44.
Wow. She and Anna kind of look alike, so that makes sense, actually.
way to save it for me, I guess.
No, I think they do. Like, that's not me lying, trying to save you. It's the truth. Maybe I just think Anna's beautiful. Hi, Anna. I know you're engaged, and so am I, but, like, if you change your mind. Just saying.
So Margot and Bill announce that they're engaged when they're at dinner with Lloyd and Karen.
And gosh.
Speaking of engagements.
When the whole squad engaged.
In comparison to Sunset Boulevard, none of the characters immediately try to make out with one of them, though.
Honestly, disappointing. Lack of kissing drunkenly.
Eve
lack of murder.
Is career murder a type of murder?
No, not this time.
Eve talks to Karen, and at first she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry this happened. Anyway, you have to have me play the lead in your husband's new play.
Fucking
Otherwise, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. No, I'm gonna reveal you're the reason why Margot missed her performance."
I was gonna say, that's the wrong movie where somebody tries to Kermit.
Yeah. All the doors in this movie have handles and locks.
Mm-hmm.
Karen comes back to the table and Margot's like, "I don't want to play her. I'm too old for that role." What?
Margot?
How? How did this happen? Maybe Margot's smarter than we thought. Maybe she's finally come to a realization that she's aged, elderly,
geriatric.
Also, okay, Ann Baxter was 27.
Mm-hmm.
Playing Eve, and Bette Davis was 42.
You think that hit a little home for her? She was like, "Owie." Everybody like, "It's funny. Okay, stop." Literally stop.
Also, 27 and 42 is like the typical age difference between two stars in a rom-com.
Yeah, except one of them's a man, and men don't age. They're not susceptible to ageism. It's fine.
They talk about that in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, Bill looked 32 5 years ago, and he'll look that way for 30 more years.
Yep. It's just because... Don't even get me started. I can't have this conversation right now.
No, it is ageism. It's fashion trends. It's the way that society is like, "Oh, you have wrinkles and you're a woman? Why don't you just go bury yourself?
Why don't you just go fucking kill yourself, bitch?" It's, It also comes down to, like, makeup and stuff, too. Like, dudes don't, like, they do a different hairstyle and they're praised. They wear their facial hair a different way, and it's like, whoa, groundbreaking. They get some grays, suddenly they're a silver fox. Mm-hmm. If a celebrity female goes, like, gray, oh my gosh, she's the Crypt Keeper. She doesn't wear enough makeup. Oh my gosh, she looks sick. Like,
she puts on, like, different makeup. Mm-hmm. Who's this Jezebel?
Literally. And it sucks because, like, it happens even in real life too. Like, sometimes when I do shows, I don't wear as much makeup to work because I just want to go put my makeup on. Like, I don't want to have to take my makeup off and put more on later. It's just me being lazy. But it's happened before where after a show closed, I come back and I actually start wearing my full face again, and somebody said to me, "Oh my gosh, you look so much better. Were you so sick? Like, you must have been so sick before." It was another woman too. So, like, she was being genuine, but I'm like, that's internalized.
Yeah, that's part of it. It's not intentional from anyone. It's just, it's so ingrained in people.
Yeah. And so, like, of course, I didn't, like, snap on her or anything, but I was like, "Oh, thanks.
Wow, you look shitty as always."
It's my natural thick black eyeliner. You're right. God gave it to
I'm just always embarrassed. I'm always blushing.
Yep. My lips are always this wet.
Okay, I do know people who have just naturally wet lips.
Okay, but doesn't it kind of give you the ick?
It does, honestly.
Like,
it does.
no offense.
Do you need a napkin?
Yes, when I used to hang out with, like, kids in the band, no offense to the kids in the band, and they'd be, like, playing the trumpet, and then they'd stop, and their lips would be all moist. I'd be like, "This is why I am in the orchestra, and my first high school boyfriend played the cello."
Oh, my gosh. So, just before the play is about to premiere in New Haven, Eve tells her plan to Addison. She will marry Lloyd, who is married to Karen. Because he says that he loves her, and then he will write plays for her to star in.
I mean,
and that's
the dream.
And similar to how Britta can excuse racism in Community, Addison can excuse conniving, but he cannot forgive breaking up a marriage.
I mean, wow, the bar.
Her name is not Eve. Her name is Gertrude.
What a horrible name.
Gertrude Slazinski.
Horrible name, but she does sound like she could be from Wisconsin now.
It sounds very Wisconsin.
Like, it's
never
giving
married.
Wisconsin.
She was paid to leave town after having an affair with her married boss.
I mean, she sounds kind of like bad news.
How bad does your affair have to be paid money to leave? Not only paid money. Do I know how much money she was paid?
How much was she paid, Dan?
So it was $500 in 1950. She was paid $6,300 to leave town.
Wow. I would say I wish that would happen to me, but I don't want to have, an affair with anybody, and I don't want to be thrown out of town. I just want the money. So.
Oh, yeah. So you need to connive your way into a fake affair.
I don't know where to start. I'm going to have to tell Gage so he's in on it, too, so he doesn't dump me and we get the money together, because I don't want to lose him in this, not to be a sap.
Now, hold on. That's only $3,000 for you.
Yeah, but together, since we're married,
Gage?
we're going to be married anyway. I'm going to have him secretly run away, too. We're going to start scamming people. It's going to be like the Tinder swindler, except we're going to be the Ashley Madison robbing your Daddison.
Addison also says Lloyd would never leave Karen for Eve. He's too much of a simp.
Good for her.
And then Addison is like, I own you, bitch. Good for him. What a horrible person. All of them.
They're all not great, except for Marilyn. She's fine.
Yeah. I do love this scene. The whole reveal, and then... Because it's just, he was playing a game the whole time, too. He saw through her immediately. Mm-hmm. So, a double, triple, quadruple cross. Then we flash forward. Eve is a Broadway star. She's heading for Hollywood. When she's accepting the award that she won at the Sarah Siddons dinner. Remember that from the beginning of the movie? Mm-hmm. She thanks by name Margot, Bill, Lloyd, and Karen, and they all just glare back at her. Love it.
Yeah, iconic.
Is it?
I'd love to wrong everyone so much that when I'm accepting an award, they're all just watching angrily while I'm succeeding.
Of them is very slowly doing the crank middle finger.
I would just close my eyes.
Eve skips the after party, goes home. Uh-oh, a teenage fan is in her apartment, sleeping. The fact that she doesn't react by stabbing her.
Literally the fact that she doesn't have an anxiety attack the second she sees it.
Right. Phoebe is this teenage fan, and she wants to be just like Eve. She tries to live with her. And then for some reason, Eve invites her to stay instead of taking the long subway back to Brooklyn. If it's from Broadway to Brooklyn, that's like a 40-minute ride.
I would literally never invite a stranger to stay in my apartment.
Absolutely
I'd be like,
not.
I'm so sorry. Here, hit the trail. Okay, bye.
Eve goes to sleep with this stranger in her house.
No, I would not rest.
Addison comes by to give her the award. And she tells him that, yeah, I picked my own name. Okay. But Addison can now take advantage of her just like he did with Eve. And he realizes that she will continue this path of conniving to do to Eve what Eve did to Margot. And then What?
There's just number one. If I was Eve, I would be going to sleep with a frying pan in my bed. Number two, the lesson in this movie is trust no one. No one is your friend. That's it. The end.
That's one of the lessons, yes.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just...
Or actually, here's the thing. Lloyd is fine, because he loves his wife.
Well, Lloyd doesn't count. I'm talking about for Eve, Margot, and Phoebe.
Yes. Anyway, Phoebe puts on Eve's dress and then poses in front of a mirror, holding the award and bowing. And as she's in front of the mirror, 100 more of her appear in front of her. So the other message is this will keep happening, and there are hundreds of people who are willing to do it.
It's literally too much.
I think, and that's all about Eve. That's the end of it. I think the last shot of this is fantastic. Top 10 best closing shots.
Well, beautiful shot or nothing. It's just...
Well, also, it's both beautiful and thematically important. Because it is the whole conceit of the movie.
It's the whole everything is a cycle of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been, I would say, reading a book. I've been listening to a book. It feels like I can't say reading.
Too. No, I felt dirty putting that I read a book, even though I literally just listened. What book is it?
It's called Burn It Down. It's basically just about like abuse in the Hollywood.
Oh, yours is a lot sadder than mine. I was listening to the graphic audio version of A Court of Thorns and Roses.
I don't know what that is.
It's like, ask Anna,
Smut?
I bet she would. It's like smut adjacent.
Okay.
There were some parts where I was really hoping none of my coworkers would ask me to take my headphones off to say something to me, because since it's a graphic audio, that means that there's sound effects, and some of the sound effects were moans. Literally just... It's not applause.
But the book that I've been reading, it's all a cycle. The whole industry is a cycle. This will keep happening again.
That's so fucking sad. That is actually sad. Sorry for yawning. That feels disrespectful.
No, it is sad. It's a really good book, though. It's also nonfiction.
A Court of Thorns and Roses is fiction. It's about fairies.
I figured as much. I don't know many nonfiction smut books.
You mean you've never read the historical smut? No, kidding.
So, I guess you said your opinion that you thought it was slow. Outside of it being slow, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's a good attempt to highlight some of the age. I don't know if it was the point, but they are highlighting some of the ageism. Here's why I say I don't know if it's the point. They make all these things to highlight ageism, but they're still doing it even today, kind of. So it's like, it's
again,
not as bad.
It's a cycle. It keeps happening.
Yeah, it's not as bad, but think of all these actresses today who are doing like skincare stuff and like diet stuff, and where are the actors doing it? They're not.
Outside of Rob Lowe, I don't know.
Well, Rob Lowe's always been a hoe for the Atkins diet. You know what I mean? Like, that's been his bread and butter, no pun intended, forever.
It actually has not been his bread nor his
butter.
It's been
his no carbs. It's been his 0 carbs forever.
I also think that it's really interesting. I'm surprised you didn't think that this movie was camp.
Not as camp as Sunset Boulevard.
Interesting.
Nowhere near as camp as Sunset Boulevard for me. Nobody had a monkey, Dan.
That's true. I think Addison...
Well,
not explicitly. Addison is implicitly supposed to be homosexual.
Oh, okay.
He is unable to exert power in other ways, so he exerts it in controlling.
Oh, I hate that. That's not camp. That's just upsetting.
Also, I think Eve is also supposed to be homosexual.
Oh, I didn't get that.
I got overtones there.
Like, do you think
it's not just it's not just a I want her career, it's I want her.
Oh my god, man, my gaydar was off if that's the case. I was just like, yep, she wants her career.
You see black and white and you're like, everyone's straight.
I assume, like there were no gays back then. Just kidding, gays. I know you existed. Just kidding.
I was going to ask, is that your Catholic school education coming in? Gay people didn't exist until 2015.
Yep. That's it. I hope nobody takes that out of context.
Yeah. Don't aggregate me.
This just in. Dan O'Keefe thought the gays didn't exist until 2015.
No, shit. I've been aggregated. I have some trivia for you.
I'm so ready.
Ann Baxter, who plays Eve, remembers that everybody watching the dailies and like the weeklies of what they were filming all thought that they were working on something special. And they were all excited to go to work each day. Bette Davis said it was the most rewarding film she ever made.
Oh, that's really nice. I can't wait to be the one that, wakes their spirits from the grave because I didn't like it.
Eddie Fisher is credited with a role as the stage manager. His scene was cut. Eddie Fisher is Carrie Fisher's father.
Oh.
What's going on behind you?
Oh, nothing. Sorry, I was fidgeting with Post-it notes.
Okay.
And I didn't realize I was being that loud. Sorry.
The Sarah Siddons Award was first presented in 1952, inspired by this movie. Celeste Holm, who plays Karen in this movie, won it in 1967. And then Bette Davis got an honorary one in 1973.
Oh, I love that.
This was the first movie of the ambitious young female character genre aspires to become a successor to the older female character movie.
I feel like that's pretty common even today.
Yeah, that's an inversion of that told from a different perspective. Tar.
Why did I think you were going to say Black Swan?
I don't think the age really plays a part there.
No, but that's where my brain went. For some reason, I was like, yeah, Black Swan. I've never seen that movie, Dan. I could not tell you a single plot point of that movie.
Ballet.
All I know is that 2 queen hotties are in it.
Yes. Both over 40. So
both banging.
Bette Davis did not get along with Celeste Holm. In an interview, Celeste Holm said, "I walked onto set the first day and said good morning, and do you know her reply? She said, 'Oh shit, good manners.' I never spoke to her again."
Was Bette Davis kind of a bitch?
Yes,
I get that vibe big time.
You should read the book Mommy Dearest.
I knew it was Mommy Dearest. I couldn't remember if she was the Mommy Dearest one or not.
Yeah.
Isn't that a movie too?
It is, yeah.
And isn't it like really sad?
Yes.
Isn't there a thing with clothesline hangers?
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but I know it's bad.
Bette Davis also intimidated Marilyn Monroe so much that she went into the bathroom to vomit after her scenes with her.
Oh my God. Poor Marilyn.
After one scene, she whispered, and Marilyn could hear, "That little blonde slut can't act her way out of a paper bag. She thinks if she wiggles her ass and coos away, she can carry her scene. Well, she can't."
Well, goddamn. I also would have thrown up Marilyn. Don't worry. Don't worry, girl.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And she
rumor...
called somebody a slut? Damn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I thought they didn't
Acerbic.
use that word back then.
The word slut didn't exist until 2015.
That little blonde whore.
The rumor is that the Margot was based on Tallulah Bankhead, who was an actress. But so everyone involved with the movie has denied that. And Tallulah Bankhead on her radio show around the same time had a bunch of jokes about the similarities between herself and Margot. So if it was based on her, she didn't care.
No. That's like how people are saying that show The Idol is about Selena Gomez.
That I don't see that at all.
Well, you have to
having watched
research.
15 minutes of it.
Do the research, Dan. The report back.
The initial choice to play Margot was I can read you a bunch of names. You won't recognize any of them.
That is correct. I won't.
You'll recognize one of them. So initial choice was Claudette Colbert. Other choices: Ingrid Bergman, Joan Crawford.
I knew Ingrid Bergman too. She's in the Bells of
Oh.
St. Mary's.
Marlene Dietrich. She was too German for the part.
I mean, and so Ingrid Bergman wasn't?
Yeah. That's true. A bunch of others. Basically
Oh, sorry.
every...
Ingrid Bergman was Swedish. My B.
Yeah. Come on.
They were all European. Sorry, everybody.
Basically every leading actress of the 50s was considered, including Katharine Hepburn.
Ooh.
She would have been good. Similar. She would have been very similar to Bette Davis. Joan Crawford would have been very different.
I just have a warm, soft spot in my heart for Ingrid Bergman, but she seems just too nice and soft.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just thinking of her character in the Bells of St. Mary's. That can never be ruled out.
For Marilyn Monroe's role, Angela Lansbury and Zsa Zsa Gabor were considered.
Oh, I didn't... Okay. No
Angela
offense to
Lansbury
Angela.
of Murder, She Wrote.
You did not have to tell me that. I just forgot that at one point in time
She was young.
she was young.
And then Zsa Zsa Gabor of Green Acres.
Oh, I know who Shasha is. Don't even worry about that.
Oh, and don't worry, she kept coming to set because she was jealous of her husband, George Sanders, having scenes with Marilyn Monroe.
That's so funny.
Also, according to the casting director, Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan were considered for the roles of Bill and Eve.
Nancy Reagan?
Yeah.
The Nancy Reagan?
The throat goat herself.
That's what I was... Not the throat goat.
And Bette Davis's voice was so raspy during the movie because she was in the middle of breaking up with her husband, so she was yelling a lot.
Well,
Anyway.
sounds like she was yelling a lot in general.
Yes. Anna, would this movie be better or worse than the same with Jonathan Taylor Thomas in it?
I don't think there's room for it. For him. I don't think he would have fit in with this crowd.
There's no young boy role.
No. I just don't think
can't
he
see
would
him.
have fit in here. Sorry, everyone.
As Eve.
Yup. There's something about Eve. Man, okay, pause. I looked up Zsa Zsa Gabor's Wikipedia page, and I wish that one of my occupations was socialite.
Right?
Fuck.
She's the original famous for being famous.
I wish I was famous for being famous. Dang.
Also, her sister...
Eva?
Oh, I thought... Never mind.
Her
Zsa Zsa
sister
Gabor
was the
lived
one
until
on-
2016.
Her sister was the one on Green Acres.
Oh,
And
Ava
Zsa
Gabor,
Zsa-
yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ava. Zsa Zsa Gabor
Was famous.
was in Moulin Rouge, but, like, not the musical one. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
She was
for her.
famous for being famous, you're right.
Also, 9 marriages.
If you're a socialite, you gotta have that. Oh, she was in the Beverly Hillbillies. Oh, and she did a cameo in Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Okay. Jimmy Stewart, it would be about the same. None of the men's roles are big enough for him to really have an effect.
Happy to say that this is a female-heavy role.
Yeah. Love me,
movie.
my girls. Mm-hmm. I love women.
Period, as you should.
On a scale of 1 to 5 sluts, what do you give this movie?
2 sluts.
Wow, that's low.
I didn't care for it.
Okay.
I don't really care for Job. Do you get that reference?
I do. Yeah, that's
Okay, good. Just making
Arrested
sure.
Development.
Because I said that at work and nobody got it, and I was sad.
I give it 4.5.
All right.
4.5 out of 5. Big fan. Like it. Not as much as Sunset Boulevard. Like that more.
Yeah, me too.
Wow, you sound so done.
No, I'm not done. I was just thinking.
Just the gasp. Just the...
No,
fine.
I was just
whatever.
thinking.
Yeah,
I was just
I
thinking.
guess.
I'm still
Okay.
on Ava and Shasha's Instagram. Or not Instagrams.
On their Instagrams?
I'm on their Instagrams.
Hey, Zsa Zsa Gabor died in 2016.
She could have had one.
She could have.
She could have had a Facebook page.
Hey, Anna,
Hey, Dan.
what movie are we doing next week?
Bye, bye, birdie. I'm gonna miss you so. That's not how I would sing it if I was in the show, for the record. But that's just a little taste.
Oh, love a Costco sample.
Mm-hmm.
That is it for this week's episode of In Conclusion. If you want to find us, we're on social media on Facebook and Twitter @and In Conclusion, on Instagram @In Conclusion Podcast. If you want to find me, I am on Twitter @DanO'Keefe86 and on TikTok @NotDanO'Keefe. Anna, where can they find you?
Wait, Dan, you're not on Threads?
I am on Threads.
Ooh,
actually.
I'm not on Threads. My work is, but I personally am not on Threads, so I was just curious.
I've used it twice and it felt dumb.
Yeah, my
Because,
work
like, the
has
difference
only
between
threaded one
Twitter and Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing that makes Twitter interesting is everyone who is a heavy user of Instagram is boring. And everyone who's a
Hey,
heavy user of
hold on.
Twitter is insane.
That's true. I don't post my crazy wackadoodle thoughts, but I think about it sometimes. Anyway, I have not used Threads yet, but you can find me on Instagram @AutomusPrime818 or on Twitter @AutobotsRollOut, capital O for Auto, capital B for Bots, capital R for Roll, and the O in Roll, and the O in Out are zeros. Or you can follow my dog on Instagram @JesterThePup1017, and she is a girl. People keep asking me if she's a boy. I guess the name Jester has male connotations. Sorry, everyone.
We will be back next week with Bye Bye Birdie. In the meantime, everybody stay safe and have fun. Bye bye, Birdie.
Bye, bye, birdie. I thought it was 2 colors, but it's just ivory that's going out of stock. So, thank God.
A Creative Land podcast.